Hey everyone, welcome to the very first episode of Mind the Line. I'm Aman, and I'm so excited you're here with us as we kick off some much honest and much needed conversation around mental health and boundaries, especially now in this age of hustle culture and constant notifications.
Hi everyone, I'm Surbhi, and we are basically here to unpack the stuff that no one really taught us while we were growing up, like boundaries and how to say no, how to not always indulge ourselves in people pleasing. So yeah,
Boundaries are something that Surbi, you and I are both still figuring out, right? Whether it's at work, whether it's our families, whether it's notifications online. I think let's ask, like, okay, I want to know how did you set your first boundary? When was it? And how did you go about it?
so just to give set some background, I grew up in a big Indian joint family with four generations and over 40 people living together. So there was no concept of boundaries or space in that household, which I don't complain because we either don't know. You cannot miss something you don't have. So, but once I went out for my studies and there I got that space with myself, then I realized that why you need it. And when I came back, it was a whole journey. Uh, you know, to understand myself that. It won't be that easy, and to make my family understand that this is required.
So did you learn from somewhere how to set this boundary, or how did it come? Did it come naturally to you, or was it something that you felt because you stayed outside? It was something that you missed from, your experience from staying outside.
Yeah, I think that that is something I missed. When I came back, I realized it what I had once I came back and I didn't. So it was a whole journey, as said, because making people understand that you need space. Sometimes it comes out at, oh, you're too independent, or you need your freedom, or you don't care about the family enough. Because everyone wants that Suraj Barjatia's Hum Aapke Hai Contacts family. So it was very important to me to draw lines, but it didn't come easy. Because over the time you realize that it's not only you, a lot of people have to learn and learn things. So and it has to be done with a lot of empathy. Initially, when I thought, oh, it's my right. They should, my parents should understand, my siblings should understand, my family should understand. Then you realize, no, they also have stayed with a version of you. They also need a time when you are changing yourself, even if it's for your good. Others need that time as well.
So it's 30 years of unlearning for us, but for them it's like 50, 60 years of unlearning,
Yeah.
what they know, right? So it won't
Yes.
be easy.
You went to hostel fairly early in your life.
Yeah.
So how was it with you?
In hostel, I think there was a very disciplined life. So there was no sort of, you couldn't set those boundaries with anyone because you're fairly independent, but you still have to, there is a set things you have to do. So the boundaries that would come there would probably be in terms of mm, I mean, I think I never thought about boundaries until like way later in my 30s. So within hostel, because it was really early, I was 10 years old when I went. And I don't think there was any aspect of where should I draw, except maybe with your seniors or your friends. So again, like, relationships or friendships is when do you say no, or more academic related, like you want to allocate your time to academics. So I've been studying for 14 years, so I was a bit academically inclined in school as well. uh, so how do you say no to certain things of like hanging out and sort of devote that time to things that you do want to do? So maybe that was the one thing we don't think about it, but it we end up learning ways which might be healthy or unhealthy. It might, end up breaking relationships. So I think communicating your boundaries is another really important aspect that we should consider. So relationships is one aspect where we set boundaries, but there are also boundaries I feel that we should set within ourselves. So me being an anxious person and overthinking all the time, uh, setting a boundary in terms of where do you stop, how do you stop that overthinking, or where should you stop that overthinking, or steps you take to prevent that overthinking
Mm.
is an important boundary. So that's a emotional boundary, I would say, another
Yeah.
aspect that is important. Uh, I think again, physical boundaries, how much can should you push yourself, and to what stage will you end up getting hurt if you keep pushing yourself in terms of, exercising or in terms of just working all the time and not taking adequate rest. So that's another aspect of boundaries that we'll be talking about, I think, in the coming episodes. And burnout, I think burnout is another aspect we're going to address. Is
Yeah.
there something else we're going to be talking about in our coming episodes?
We'll figure out as we'll go. Uh, as you know, you also pointed out previously, there's a whole lot of aspect of we both being anxious people, overthinking and making scenarios or getting anxious about it. So, have you figured out some way to deal with it?
So many years of experience and many things I have figured out that works for some time and then it doesn't work and then something else, needs to be tried. So the recent thing that I have done is just putting my phone on sleep mode to prevent notifications. Uh, so when I'm going off to sleep, so an hour or two before that, you put my phone goes on sleep mode and it prevents like WhatsApp messages, notifications, Google notifications. So that has really helped me. So I think that was a boundary that I created for my own self. That has really helped. Apart from that, I think the journey of being anxious and how do you sort of prioritize your mental health requires a whole set of boundaries and discipline that and a lifestyle that needs to be followed. So we'll delve into that in another episode.
Um, Talking about it, like for me, it's a 48-hour rule that if I cannot solve it, see a solution or a way forward within 48 hours, I'll keep it aside. It took some time to come up with that, you know, time frame. I think so for every person it's different. But for me, it's 48 hours. If it does not get done, just keep it aside. It won't happen now. There's no point in dwelling upon that. Especially like a lot of us, as we said, these are skills that ideally should, have been inculcated early in life. It's helpful, but it's also given our culture and respect your adult and everything, which is all fine. Nothing against it, but people do mistake setting boundaries to being rude, being disrespectful, because we have this whole concept of acha bacha in our society, which basically mean being a yes man to everything that is said.
Yeah.
So that's a challenge. So if the people who are listening to us, it's never too late.
I mean, I think we are just starting our journey. Maybe like a year or two back, we
Yeah.
sort of realized that, yeah, that's an important step, and breaking the cultural, something that is inculcated in us from school age, right? Like ki sabki suno, सबका करो, every you should always जो सब कहते हैं, make everyone happy, sort of indirectly trying to make everyone happy. You end up giving a lot of yourself, uh, but you still don't feel satisfied, right? So where is that point where you stop giving yourself? Like, do you wait for you to get hurt, or do you wait for when should you start that? So I think setting boundaries, like you said, is a life skill, but we are not taught this life skill. I think even we just learn through mistakes or examples, like, which is not always healthy. So there
Yeah.
might be something that, happened with us that hurt us or that affected us in a way that we wanted to create that change. But we shouldn't have to, right? We should be taught that at an early age.
Hmm.
And how do you communicate it in a healthy manner? Like, most of the time we are afraid to set a boundary because we're going to hurt someone, or the other person will not understand us. So how do we, sort of put that across where the other person is not hurt, understands us? So I think a whole lot of empathy also plays a big role in all of this. Uh, so empathizing with the other person, trying to
Yeah.
understand the other person. So yeah, I think mental health and boundaries are something that we're gonna keep talking
Yeah. Yeah.
about.
And we are not experts. We don't say we are experts. We are just people with some lived experience. We are here to share, and maybe over the time, we will figure out some skills, some way that all of us can be benefited from.
So send us your questions, send us your stories, like, subscribe, and tell us how you've set your boundaries, or whether you plan to set your boundaries, and how maybe we can discuss healthy ways of setting that, right? Maybe you want to say no to a date that you don't want to go on again. Maybe you want
Yeah.
to maybe you want to tell your parent that you want to shut your door and lock your doors. So healthy boundary setting and all around it. And I think we're gonna yeah.
Talk about it eventually in our coming episodes. So thank you guys. Hopefully we will be regular. We'll try our best to be very regular with it. And next episode, like, share, and subscribe.